was thinking about what you said about what made me cry at the retreat, and I thought, oh, I didn't quite get that quite right, I don't think. Because what made me cry was talking about you. I'm pretty sure that touched me more than, I mean, it was part of it.
Yeah.
Because everyone says, oh, you know, Veronica's so great, you feel so comfortable, and I said, and then all of a sudden it just occurred to me, it's not Veronica. It's our good friend, Eloheim.
Aww.
Well, that's what it's always felt like to sit and talk with you.
That's wonderful. You know, we've been thinking about this more and more, especially because at the retreat we talked about it, but today we were doing a private session and it came up again. And our role really is as a friend and not even as a teacher necessarily. Sometimes we teach stuff, but only to help shake up where you are enough that then we can stand next to you while we explore it together. That's more interesting to us. We had to spend a lot of time kind of teaching because we needed common language. We needed to have the tools and other things that we could have, didn't have to repeat ourselves in a big long story every time. We can just say, get rid of that static, right? And everyone knows what we're talking about. So for us, it was an opportunity, you know, it really is an opportunity, especially now, to be in a space of just collaborating. You know, like we were talking to Laura, you know, and John even, the two of you guys specifically saying, here's the part to look out for. Here's the part where it might go sideways. This is the part where it feels great. Let us know where you need help.
And the more, it makes it more obvious that the more that we bring, that's the collaboration, the more that we bring and share and talk about.
Yeah, you know, for us, the opportunity that we see happening, you know, Veronica likes to say that the new year starts at the retreat, right? She goes retreat to retreat, not calendar year, because everything changes so radically when we're together at the retreat. We think this makes sense. And this year we said at the retreat, we told you guys it's going to be the year of where we start talking more about how the physical affects, or bringing the physical into the work that we're doing, the physical body. And talking with you is a perfect example of like you taking what you've learned into the world in a new way, right? But it also is about the idea that we're collaborating on something in a brand new way. We have the opportunity to do something brand new. And we've got enough people now that are at a point where you're not overwhelmed by problems in life. And like John gave the great example of, look, I'm triggered, but that's not what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And even Don is like, I'm tired and this is hard, but it's not the only thing about me. And a lot of times as the years have passed by, the thing that's been going on has been who you are when you sit down. It's what you've brought is what's going on.
It's been the big thing.
Yeah,
The
but
trigger's
now,
been the big thing.
yeah, but now you're bringing who you are, not what's going on, right? And you're saying, this is who I am. This is why we don't have you guys talk much when you sit down. Sometimes we do, but oftentimes we'll just say what we've got to say. You guys were all very clean tonight, so sometimes we have to do the magic wand thing to, you know, see what's going on more. But in essence, we went through years where we'd sit people down and let them ask a question. Then we went through years going, shut up. And now you guys just sit down and just say, I'm here. And John's example was the best when he just said, I'm here and I'm here with a trigger, but that's not me. Right? That's a perfect example of what we're talking about, where you can have triggers, but they don't identify you anymore, i.e. level 6, what trigger, right? That's a perfect example of what trigger looks like. Because it doesn't matter that the trigger isn't the definition of you. It's just part of being human.
The trigger is handleable.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think we have the courage. For me, I have the courage to deal with the trigger.
Yeah. It doesn't become this life and death thing. It becomes this fact and opportunity sometimes, and also just kind of reality. It's just like it's reality. It doesn't have to throw you into an outcome. It doesn't have to throw you into a disaster scenario. It doesn't have to throw you into a fear. It's just a fact of a fact of a fact. Here's a fact of a fact of a fact, whatever. You know, for a while there, we talked a lot about facts. Remember, we would just gather facts all the time. We would say, okay, let's just have short factual statements about whatever's going on. Because we needed to get you guys out of the place where something going on meant disaster. And the whole thing of, visiting uncertainty with a different relationship and having a completely different relationship to uncertainty, and uncertainty not being danger. And the great thing is at the retreat, we saw a lot of people really owning that uncertainty doesn't mean danger anymore. And you guys are not having uncertainty mean danger at all right now. Right now, we don't feel any sense of uncertainty meaning danger in this room. So congratulations on that. Because we didn't focus on that, but too long ago was we were talking about that every week.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, uncertainty doesn't have to mean danger. Triggers don't have to mean disaster. I show up and I say, this is this is who I am. How can I be more of who I am? Or unveil more of who I am? Or show up with more of who I am? Right? And that's where we are now. And it looks a lot like allowing yourself to have surface area for new connections, the it's all me thing, and surface area for your own exploration of how your physical body interacts with all these other facts. Because what we've seen, at least for Veronica, and we suspect with a lot of you too, is that the physical body kind of has to have a backseat to the processing of triggers and fears and uncertainties that your mind does. Like your mind works to keep you safe, and your body you try to keep as quiet as possible. It's like, okay, just sort of chill out. And for her, because she's so sensitive, that's a really real picture. And so what we're looking at is how now that the processing doesn't need to happen as much, because the choose and choose again of level 4 has moved into the level 6 space. There's not that exhaustive choosing all the time, so you're not having to overwhelm the brain. The body can now start to let its expression contribute without it meaning danger, disaster, fear, weakness, Being seen means danger from men or danger from whatever, right? And so there's like this unfurling of the surface area that the body has been hiding, is a way to say it. What does that mean?
That's kind of interesting. It makes me think of that weird experience I had at night where I opened my eyes and it seemed like I saw something rather than I was dreaming something, but it was very flat and very cartoony and it didn't make any sense. And I kept looking at it. Am I really seeing that?
Yeah.
And why am I not afraid of it?
Yeah.
And then I just went, oh, fuck, and I rolled over and went back to sleep.
Yeah, and when you have situations like that happen, watch the need to have it be explainable and miss out on the experience. Don't look for explanation. See what you can do for experience. That to me
before.
Yeah, you've had a couple of these now where you try to go into explanation. And
well, it's pretty bizarre.
Well, so is like oatmeal, but you don't expect yourself to, the car drives. That's pretty bizarre to Veronica, but she doesn't ask for explanation of it. So there are places where you have allowed yourself to do that. It's just not when it's really unusual. But the thing is, if you don't allow those really unusual things to be experienced, it's really hard to keep having them happen and to have them, unfold.
Well, I guess I got as much of it as I felt like I could have without being terrified.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So that's where we are, who we are, and what we're up to. We're very excited about this new year and this new opportunity, and energized by it, and the different ways that your community is connecting, and the opportunities that presents for you guys to be vulnerable and be willing and to explore surface area. These are words that will be loud in at least the coming months. All the different ways that surface area is a factor. And surface area is the best word we can come up with, phrase we can come up with for what we feel is happening. You've probably seen these time-lapse pictures of like a fern unfurling. Have you seen that? Right? Yeah, that's you guys. That's who you are. It starts off as kind of this, well, forget these fingers. Well, shoot, do it this way. It starts off as kind of this really tight little thing, right? And even more than like a rose blooming or anything, because it unwinds, and then it even goes this way. That's you guys. What does that mean? No one's even asking. Isn't that great? We didn't even have to fight through the what does that mean? You guys just went, okay. All right. Well, this is fun. Really glad you guys did this. Good idea, Veronica. Yeah. Points to the girl with the reddish hair. Good. She's got a few of them. Yeah, she's full of them, actually. Full of ideas. That's her gig. All right. We're going to go. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night.